Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is GGF bringing you episode 29, just one away from 30 of Let's Play Obsidian's latest, greatest open world RPG. Wait for it. Avowed. Dope stuff. So I hope you guys are having a great time, doing well, and all that good stuff. We're going to get it in tonight. Have some fun. It's nighttime where I'm at in real time. And we're still exploring Paradise, but what can we do in this episode? Maybe, I don't know, I still want to explore Paradise, right? Let's get more lore. Whale is the god of secrets, revelations, illusions, cryptography, obfuscation, perception, dreams, and visions. Their followers are a mystery even to each other, reveling in acts of creating and unraveling mysteries. That's Whale. But we're at the ambassador. Let's go get more lore from Tycg. There's Garrick again. Hey, Garrick.
I'll keep trying, but there's not much to be done for Fort Northreach.
Right. There's Tycg.
Envoy, glad to see you're still with us.
All right.
How can I help you?
Let's see. I've been hearing a lot about this Inquisitor Ludwin. Who is she?
Consider yourself lucky. Inquisitor Ludwin is the commander of the Steel Garrote in Paradise. Were you to ask her, she'd say she keeps the peace. But she doesn't keep it so much as prosecute it. As ruthlessly as the ambassador will let her. She's also a veteran of the Steel Garrote's campaign in the Deathfire, where she died.
She's a Death Guard. Well, that explains a lot.
I don't know what happened to her there, but I suppose Wodaka wasn't done with her yet.
What was Ludwin like before she became a Death Guard?
I only met her once. She was a mid-level member of the Steel Garrote then, chasing Oathbreakers who'd fled Adiran law. She'd come back to the Imperial Archives to borrow a map to a place called Oathbinder's Sanctum. I remember she was furious because the map was quite poor. She worried about finding the place, about properly executing her duty to her god. She wanted, I think, to do a good job. So, while clearly she has changed, in some sense, I'd say she's much the same.
I've never encountered an actual Death Guard. I thought they were figures from old stories.
Death Guards are surpassingly rare. Some of the secretaries who traveled with our dignitaries in the Deathfire spoke of one named Iser, a devotee of Berith, who guards the hanging sepulchres there. But I've heard of no others except those I've read about in the histories, or, as you say, in stories. They are people, most often paladins or priests, so devoted to a cause that they simply refuse to pass on to the wheel when they die. Their soul haunts their body. The passion required to sustain them devours their flesh, and they swiftly turn to bone. I've never read a history nor tale of a Death Guard that did not end with them going quite mad. They lose their capacity to care for anything but their cause. They cannot love. And when they cannot love, they cannot be merciful. And so everything before them becomes only an obstacle.
What do you know about the Steel Garrote?
Think upon your promises and die. That's the litany of the Steel Garrote, usually said right before they kill you. They're an order of paladins born and bred in Adir, though clearly they've found plenty of work beyond our borders. Their remit is simple but comprehensive. They punish all who break their oaths. In practice, that has historically meant contracts. One lord or merchant will hire the Steel Garrote to bring a duplicitous rival to justice.
Fun bunch. What are they doing in Paradise?
Since the events in the Deathfire, their operations have expanded. The Steel Garrote has always been associated with Wodaka. Now, they are explicitly her order. And they go wherever Wodaka's priests, or Wodaka herself, believes there is a need for them to go. The Living Lands are a dangerous, lawless frontier in sore need of order. Thus, they are here. Or so the Steel Garrote say.
Okay, let's look at some lore here. Okay, it's starting over because we just started talking to him, so Dead Fire. Death Guards are strong-willed individuals who refuse to die. They cling to life by maintaining a deep connection to some unresolved personal crusade, often tied to their faith. Rare and terrifying, Death Guards are some of Eora's most brutal and uncompromising villains. Wodaka, also known as the Burned Queen, Strangler, Oathbinder, and the Queen That Was, is the goddess of justice, law, oaths, promises, rulership, vengeance, memory, and hierarchies. She's depicted as an old noblewoman wearing a broken crown. Steel Garrote paladins worship Wodaka, and some say do her bidding. Barath is the god of death, cycles, doorways, mortality, and inevitability. They take the form of the Pallid Knight, a black-clad soldier, or the Usher, a wrinkled, silent dwarf, tasked with moving souls along the wheel into their next life. Barath's Wheel. The wheel refers to the cycle of reincarnation. Barath, goddess of cyclical death, churns departed souls through the process of cleansing and rebirth so they might live again. Alright. Wodaka, goddess of vengeance. Ludwin's chosen a challenging patron.
Do you think so? I've always found her inflexibility comforting. Wodaka's edicts are clear. If you obey her laws, pursue justice, punish the guilty, and give fealty to the Emperor, then you have pleased her, and I aim to please. But Wodaka does not trust. She demands that you declare yourself for her again and again. Her every request is a test, and her every test is an opportunity to disappoint her. I appreciate a god who makes you work for their grace. I don't want anything given to me for free.
Okay, I'd like to ask you about something else.
By all means.
I was told to meet with a Watcher, but I don't know anything about them. What can you tell me?
I trust whomever told you to consult a Watcher also told you to avoid the one in the city. She is a liar and a thief.
Oh, did you take your money?
No. Anyway, Watchers are individuals capable of perceiving souls. The soul may be in a living body, or it may simply be lingering, waiting to pass into the in-between. In either case, interacting with a soul allows a Watcher to glimpse a person's past lives or their most deeply buried memories. Watchers are incredibly rare, and in Adir, highly controlled. Many people wish to know who they were in a previous life, and do not like what they learn.
There's a Watcher in the Emperor's inner circle, is there not?
I've heard that rumor too. It flits about High Crown every couple years. Some even say it is his Lady Empress. We have no way of knowing whether it's true or not, but I will tell you, Envoy, I don't like to think the Emperor would stoop so low. There's something I find undignified about it.
Watchers are rare individuals blessed or cursed with the ability to interact with the dead and see into the realm between life and death. Some Watchers are driven mad by their gift, while others struggle to live normal lives. The in-between refers to the shadow realm that souls briefly wander after death on their way to the beyond. It has been described as a hazy landscape, empty, but for the glow of other souls, Adra, and Watchers. What happens to Watchers in Adir?
The smart ones stay hidden. They do not announce their powers, perhaps not even to themselves. Even a careful watcher risks inadvertently revealing themselves by knowing something they shouldn't know. Of the ones that are public, little is concretely known. But we hear things. They make good judges in Woedica's courts, so long as they're controlled. The lords, it's rumored, buy and sell them to collect blackmail on their enemies.
Yeah.
But I suspect many watchers are imprisoned or executed, or simply kill themselves.
Yikes. Are watchers dangerous?
A watcher doesn't need your cooperation or consent to read your soul. They could learn everything about you, terribly damaging things about your parentage, for example, or things you did in a past life, without you ever knowing. You see how this could threaten the established order, undermine our betters' right to rule.
Yeah, but that's just one side to it. Imagine how a watcher feels, knowing what a threat they are to the status quo. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be keen on kings and emperors wanting me dead. Sounds like a lot of hassle.
Don't sell yourself short, Kai. I don't doubt you're an expert in people wanting you dead.
You're not wrong.
I rarely am, in any case. The Watcher is fundamentally a tragic figure. Of the few that survive our world, most are destined to go mad.
Could I become a watcher?
Yes and no. So far as I understand it, a Watcher is born a Watcher. But it takes an event, often something shocking or traumatic, to bring a Watcher's powers to the fore. So you may be a Watcher, or I may be, or Kai, and we might not even know.
Are there any famous watchers I should know about?
Well, the Watcher of Cadnua is legendary. It was their castle Aethys destroyed when he began his campaign of terror in the Dead Fire.
Ah,
Oh, by the Queen, I hope I get to meet them someday. In terms of local interest, you'll have heard of Runid, of course. And there was Ida. You may not know about her. She was a Watcher from the Living Lands. I believe she was an Orlan. She must have died, 150 years ago. Slain by a great serpent, gods treat kindly with her soul. Doubtless there are others, but most don't meet a good end.
oh, I don't have the perception. Lots of lore there. Cadnua was a deer wooden castle built over a deep labyrinthine ruin. The castle was destroyed under strange circumstances in the year 2828 AI. Aethys is the god of rebirth, redemption, dawn, spring, and light. Years ago, a farmer by the name of Widwen claimed to be a vessel of Aethys and went on a rampage across the eastern reach. Aethys was destroyed, but later rose again in the Deadfire Archipelago. What happened to him there is a matter of speculation. Orlans are the short, hairy folk found in many corners of Aora. Hearth Orlans are known for settling down in permanent communities, while wild Orlans are traditionally wilderness nomads. Their long ears are highly sensitive to sound and other environmental stimuli. Okay, we did read some of these a few times, but just trying to get it to sink in as well. I'd like to ask you about something. Can I hit perception? No, I'd like to ask you about something else.
Of course.
Did you speak to that scout out front?
Freak, I did. Terrible shame what happened to his brother. It sounds like his injuries were severe. I saw you two talking. I hope you can help him, Envoy.
I'm headed there right after this.
Oh, that's a relief. Cadman is a good kid, cannier than his brother, and wasted on those glorified tomb robbers. You're the only one we have with the expertise for that kind of field work.
Aside from the people in trouble down there, which says something to the danger in that cave.
Whatever I think of the Expeditions Corps, they serve a vital purpose to the Empire. I'm glad it's you going after them.
You're the ambassador's secretary. What's he like?
Well, you'll notice I'm nearly always here. If that man sleeps, I don't know about it. He wouldn't say, but I believe he relied on the claviger far more than he lets on. And without the Claviger's steady hand at the rudder, the ambassador's struggling just to bail water from the sinking ship that is Paradise.
Claviger Amon might have tolerated a little more chaos than the ambassador liked, but he kept this place humming. He's not someone you can easily replace, and not with one man alone.
It's a difficult job. The pressure sometimes gets the better of him. But if he loses his temper now and then, I can't blame him for it. Better him than me.
Got some lore there. Claviger. Claviger is the Paradise and equivalent to a governor. Unlike most bureaucrats, the Claviger is unelected and often hostile toward official procedures. Instead, they are informally chosen from among those who know the city best, tasked with maintaining Paradise, defending it, and reining in the worst impulses. And Falchian Highguard is an Adirian ambassador dispatched to the Living Lands on a mission of peace and mutual cooperation. His headquarters are located at the Adirian Embassy in the city of Paradise, which is where we're at right now. Anything else we want to touch up on? The Adirian Empire, your homeland, is a nation to the west steeped in ancient traditions and laws. Several Adirian emperors have tried and failed to grow their power and influence through colonization. Time will tell if the empire expands or retracts, thrives, or dies. We know about the Living Lands. What's he like when he's not working?
He doesn't know what to do with himself. You know, in our first days here, he'd often walk to the end of the docks at sunrise. The work was done, the embassy was closed, and he'd still be wearing the same clothes he'd slept in at his desk. And he'd just stare out over the sea. He always seemed dissatisfied back then. I suppose, years later, he still does.
You don't want his job?
Be serious. Most of us here didn't get sent to the frontier because we were anybody's favorite. The longer I'm here, the more likely the people who matter are to forget me. And I'd actually like to get back to High Crown someday. Get married, have a few kids, take the civil exams, and settle into a permanent clerkship.
I guess there are worse ways to spend a life.
Like rotting in this embassy.
That's something else.
I'm an open book.
I should head out.
Safe travels, envoy.
Okay, so equipment upgrades. Do I want to talk to the ambassador now, or do I want to go visit the expedition corps? Let's come in here. We'll quick save and come on in.
Envoy, is it really you?
It's me, sir. Unsent letter. Claviger Amond, I know the blighting of the Strangleroot is a cause for concern, but I must strongly discourage any trade deal that involves buying additional crops from Fiorme Zaverno. We cannot endorse the blasphemous trade of animancy, much less welcome it to our dinner tables. Ambassador Heelguard. Is that Ludwin, maybe? Scales. Scales and Scrolls. Be a cool name for an RPG system. Letter to the Inquisitor. I have been in Emerald Stair long enough to confirm our worst suspicions. The people of Fiorme Zaverno care not for the laws of mortals or gods. Animancy and folk magic are peddled in defiance of Wotica. Their crimes are innumerable, their way of life intolerable. All is not lost. Politically, they are unstable, too focused on themselves to notice us, our eager hands tightening the garrote. We await your order, your friend in the forest. Ambassador Heelguard's journal. Adirian dialects. The sun does not set on the Adirian language, those of us who commune with this proud language, or some derivation. derivation or some derivation. Why can't I pronounce that word? I thought it was derivation. Derivation? Some derivation of it? I don't know. Sorry, guys. Populate every corner of Aora. Most of us who speak this wonderful tongue know it as Adiran, but scholars and those obsessed with correctness often qualify it as modern or contemporary Adiran. This is to contrast the language you and I speak today with Eld Adiran, the old elven language that was spoken in the Adiran Empire back before the pioneer settlers of the Deerwood built their longships. If Eld Adiran could be considered the mother of the living Adiran, the language of Heelspeak could be seen as Adiran's cousin. Heelspeak is fading from common use, but many of the elves, especially the older ones, in the Adiran heartland still use this dialect. Whether you know it or not, if you can read these words, you can understand Heelspeak. It is almost identical to Adiran, but includes a large vocabulary of archaic words that have fallen out of use in today's Adiran, or Adarin. Oh well. When you hear bards sing old Adiran poems, they are often lines of chorus that sound like melodic nonsense inserted to complete rhymes. These are usually instances of words that are lost from our common language but still used in Heelspeak. While Heelspeak is familiar to speakers of so-called modern Adarin or Adiran, the same cannot be said of our language's predecessor. Eld Adiran is a dead language spoken by academics but not used in any major community. Eld Adiran words are often familiar to Adiran readers, but the words use orthography that has since been abandoned. Unfamiliar accents marks abound. For example, Eld Adiran contains some diphthongs that have no place in the modern Adiran, as well as a few tricky consonant clusters. EA creates an Ea sound that sounds like the colloquial salutation Heya. EO sounds like AO. This sound is still used in the modern word Aora. Aora. A is pronounced as AE, such as in Wraith. Wait. Such as in Wraith? AE. Wraith? Oh, Wraith. Wraith. That's a tricky one. UE and U with an umlaut both create long oo sounds, as in loop. But this is an Eld Adiran, right? Yeah. Y sounds like a E sounds, as in B. So I do have Heelspeak, right? Okay. GJ sounds like the consonant Y, as in U. Yeah. Yeah, okay. SC sounds like SH, so you'd pronounce scop like shop. Okay. CG sounds like the dudge end of a word like hedge. Hedge. It is not uncommon for given names of Adirans, Deerwoodans, and Raidsarans to come from Eld Adiran. Some examples: Aldween is pronounced Aldween because of the long vowel sound on the Y. Dernish, I was right, is pronounced Dernish since the final SC cluster sounds like an SH sound. Chester? No, Yester. Yester is pronounced Yester on account of the GJ consonant cluster. So that's a Y. I have to remember that. Yeah. Yester. Okay, that makes sense. Sledge. I had to look at that one. Is pronounced like sledge. Right, so what was it? The CG is like the J. Thirsch. Oh, I got it right. Is pronounced Thirsch. And, oh boy. Ushgrim. Yep, is Ushgrim and not Usgrim. Ingmar is pronounced Ingmar, leading with a vowel sound. Nice, I got them mostly right. That is pretty cool. I like that. Ambassador Hilgard's journal. I must admit it is proving impossible to build diplomatic relations. The locals have a natural distrust of outsiders, and we have nothing they want. Inquisitor Ludwig believes that time and pressure will prevail. Would that I shared her confidence. Ludwig, under her gaze I feel scrutinized down to the bone, picked apart like carrion, and stared through by a pair of cold, motionless eyes that have glimpsed too far beyond the veil, reducing me to some depraved pilgrim who prays only for her ossified claws to work their way under my skin, liberating me from this pathetic envelope until at last we are bound together as a skeletal pair, limbs intertwined not as two beings, but as one. There's no shame in being attracted to power. Nevertheless, I must keep such feelings to myself, lest they be met with revulsion or worse, enthusiasm. Yeah, that is, I don't know about this guy, to be honest, and I don't know about the Adir in general. And, I have some suspicions, but I guess we'll see how it plays out. We'll quick save here, and we'll get into some dialogue with the ambassador and see what he has to say. Should be interesting.
I can't believe you're alive. When they dragged you to Liviana's clinic, I assumed the worst. How do you feel?
Constitution. Disoriented, lightheaded, my pulse is racing.
And yet you rallied your spirits and reported for duty. Your dedication is admirable.
But we'll return to the topic of your untimely demise shortly. Our first order of business is your purpose here in the Living Lands. Captain Cynric said you have a missive for me from the Emperor.
Give him the Emperor's missive. Here you are, Ambassador.
Very good. I'm eager to see what our Emperor intends.
Now, His Majesty names you a loyal servant of the Adiran Empire, and an extension of the throne's authority. Thank goodness. At least someone understands the gravity of our situation.
Adiran. I don't have the might or the dexterity. Do we have any lore yet? Adiran Empire. His Majesty is concerned the Crown's efforts in the Living Lands could be jeopardized by the Dream Scourge. No, the Emperor sent me to investigate the Dream Scourge.
And I can't think of anyone more suited for the job. You've seen how wild the Living Lands has become, both in nature and in politics. Sometimes I think the island has a mind of its own.
I like a shirt.
No sooner had you arrived than you found yourself at the center of our troubles.
You're referring to how I healed the Adra and the Strangle Root.
Well, not to mention your abrupt and untimely death. This embassy has no shortage of political foes, but the Dream Scourge is what keeps me up at night. You've seen firsthand what it can do in nature. We can't let it reach the cities.
Let me see really quickly. The Dream Scourge again is an unusual plague spreading across the Living Lands, one that affects the body, the soul, and even the ecosystem. Those infected are known as Dream Thralls, for they seem enthralled by some unique and terrifying madness. I can't let it... Dream Scourge. Where'd the name come from, anyway?
No doubt some superstitious peasant toiling in the fields. The Living Lands has plenty of both. Inquisitor Ludwig thinks the plague is a distraction. She's more concerned about these local rebels fighting against the Empire.
Tell me about these rebels. Who are they? I assume these are the people responsible for my death.
Your instincts do you credit. They were paradisans once, law-abiding laborers. Now, they're fugitives and oath-breakers hiding amongst the populace. They've sabotaged our work, killed our soldiers, and the final straw, attacked you out in the open.
Why go after me? Or they seem to have it out for us specifically. Do you know why?
Something about a labor dispute gone wrong, I think. The Steel Garrote got involved, and it turned quite ugly.
A lot of disputes arise because people here have a strong aversion to being told what to do.
I won't lie to you, Envoy. Our position is tenuous. If we can't even defend ourselves, how are we to defend the living lands? But defend it we must, for the sake of everyone who calls this island home. Inquisitor Ludwine demands that someone hang for the attempt on your life. These Paradisan rebels must face justice.
She's mad someone hangs. Where is this Inquisitor Ludwine I keep hearing about?
Ludwine goes where she likes, haunting the living lands like a vengeful spirit. She'll reappear when she chooses, and not a moment sooner. Let's make sure to give her some good news for a change.
Not many get a chance to solve their own murder, you know. I know someone who could help. A dwarven tracker named Marius. Kith or beast, there's little he can't find. He's staying at the Grinning Ballarrock, not far from Liviana's infirmary. We just take the main road east to the market, then head down the stairs and cross the canal. Rough part of town, even by the standards of Paradis.
I'll consider him. Thanks for the recommendation. Or you've proven to be capable so far. What can he do that you can't?
Blend in, for one thing. Marius is from the Tusks, about the harshest and remotest place the gods ever created,
right,
even by the standards of the living lands.
Trickery, lies. The gods did not build this place.
Let's just say no one survives out there without picking up a few skills, the kind we'll need if we're going to find hidden assassins. Especially if they're from the streets of Paradis.
I suggest you recruit as many allies as you can, but choose carefully. They, like you, will represent the Empire. But before we can send you off to parts unknown, we need assurances from the local healer that you're fully recovered. After all, you survived a brush with death. The health of your body is one thing. The health of your soul is another.
Liviana suggested, I don't know if I should tell him that. Are the living lands so dangerous my soul is at risk? Liviana suggested I visit a watcher.
An unusual course of treatment, but who am I to argue? Remember, the assassin is out there. You have the element of surprise. I suggest you use it.
Hi, I need you by my side. Can I count on you?
Tracking down mysterious assassins with a godlike who returned from death, all while the rumored dream scourge spreads. Can't say I'm prepared, but I'm ready.
We'll talk more of the dream scourge when you return. Until then, Envoy.
How about we start with Marius at the Grinning Ballarrock? Besides, I could use a drink after all this.
Alright, find the watcher, find Marius at the Grinning Ballarrock. Capacitor doesn't seem too bad. Tycg.
Envoy, glad to see you're still with us. How can I help you?
I should head out.
Safe travels, Envoy.
Alright, so... Garrick?
None of the clerks believe my story.
Oh. Unbelievable. You can vouch for it. I think we took care of everything in here. And now... Is there anything on his desk? We're gonna head out. Could start with Marius. We could... Man, there's a lot we could do. We have a good enough sword. We could figure out our grimoire situation. Getting access to Blizzard is a big deal. I haven't tried Crackling Bolt, but it bounces between enemies and that's pretty cool. And Bristling Frost. Protective Frost that increases damage reduction by 10% and deals frost accumulation to enemy melee attackers. Possibly freezing them, maybe? I don't know. But I still like my elements, man. I like Fan of Flames. I like Chill Blades. I'm not sure how to aim the Greater Elements book. Like, I'm not sure how to aim those spells. Jolting Touch. It also jumps from the caster's fingers to the nearest enemy, and then to the next nearest enemy, causing decreasing amounts of shock accumulation. And then an Arcane Shield for 20 seconds that makes your spellcasting uninterruptible and increases damage reduction by 25%. I might just keep this on in my main hand, but my offhand will have the Greater Elements and the Spear. We should upgrade maybe both of these or one of these. Let's go buy the rest of that Paradisen ladder in the Market District. And then from there, we'll also maybe buy some sort of upgrade from her, because she has some pretty interesting magical items. Oh, this must be the bridge they were throwing those valuables over, and we did find them. Marilyn, there you are right there.
I knew you'd be back.
See what you're selling? Alright, we can buy the Paradisen ladder. Well, first let's see. We also have this, which has Fan of Flames, Arcane Veil, and Grimoire Snap. Possibly Stunning Peeps. Bond of Transcendent Suffering. Steel Garrote Plate. Want to probably send that to the stash. 2 agates. We can sell those for 90. Andra's Grace. We'll keep all this stuff. But let's sell Common Arquebus. We have enough softwood branches. We'll sell 1 common bow. Sell the Great Hammer. Do we have enough iron chunks? Maybe we should break that down. Common plate armor. We have enough pelts. Sell it. Common axe. Iron chunks. Sell it. Common breastplate. I don't know what sort of armor I'm going to stick with yet. I think it might be common breastplate. We lose 2% damage reduction but gain 5 essence. No, let's keep what we've got. This is also 3 more pounds if I recall correctly. Sell it. Iron chunks for the daggers. We'll break 1 down. Keep the mail halberd, the round shield for softwood branches. Common scale armor. Minus 5% damage reduction, but plus 10 stamina. And it's a medium armor. And I'm using a medium armor. We have to upgrade this stuff. We'll sell it though. Alright, so let's take a break for a second here. And break those down. Take a break, quite literally. Dagger, we're going to break it down with R. Common great hammer, we got iron chunks. We'll get 2 more iron chunks. Common bow will send to stash. Common arquebus we'll hang on to. We're at 74, which is not ideal. This grimoire, until we get missile salvo unlocked, we'll just stash this in camp. That is a few pounds there, 3 pounds. It is a +1, but that's okay. Stash it. And the common round shield, that's 6.5 pounds. I don't know if we have one in camp. Or break it down for softwood branch. Break it down for softwood branch. Okay, we're down to 64, which is better. Still using the spear, which is only 24 damage at this point, unless we upgrade it. To upgrade this, though, we need softwood branch and parodies and ladder. So we'll buy the ladder. Quick save and buy the ladder from her.
I knew you'd be back.
Buy 3 of them. I don't know. Those are level, like... Maybe I shouldn't grab them yet because these are level 1 or common upgrade items. We're going to start needing like advanced ones for fine level equipment and stuff like that. Greater elements. Bathel's Grimoire. Corrosive Siphon, which restores health. Arcane Veil, Parasitic Staff. Blizzard, which is cool. Mini Hue Doublet. I would like that. Minus 15% damage reduction, though, to get +2 additional damage reduction, which is not a great trade-off. Where is it? Well, it depends how much damage we take, I guess. I guess if we take, like, 20 damage... If we're taking 20 damage at a time, it's generally a decent trade-off, but... Oh, we could get the Fine Grimoire of Elements. And then to upgrade that, we need Hardwood Branch and Hylia's Talon, which we have none of, and she doesn't even sell. Minus 10% ability essence cost. We're using the Boots of the Bricklayer. Blackwing Gloves, plus 10% critical damage. I might get the Canvas Gloves, minus 10% ability essence cost. Do I have them already? I do. We'll just throw those on. And also, I want to buy... I think I want to buy the Fine Grimoire of Elements. It's got minus 25% cooldown, minus 42% ability cost for $34.50. Let's make sure. Wow, the Fine Robe has crazy additional damage reduction. What if I were to get both of these? Get a Fine Robe, which is light armor. Damage reduction is only 5%, but additional damage reduction is 14. That's 14 points of damage reduction on every attack we take. Plus 5%. We gain 15 stamina and 25 max essence. Crikey. Dyes and fibers from Living Land's flora offer subtle variations to a traditional robe and comforts only found on the frontier. I'm going to be crazy enough, and I think buy that, but I hope it works out for us. I hope I don't get too rocked in combat while using that. And we can just a little bit more, and we can afford the we'll sell the common mail halberd, I guess. Or the common grimoire of elements. Sell that, and we'll have just enough to grab the fine grimoire of elements. So we don't need parodies and ladder, except for maybe the spear. And maybe, oh, we need 1,200 gold to upgrade the sword another tier. Do I upgrade the sword to fine? Where do I get the fine grimoire of elements? Is there anything else we can sell that makes some good money? Adra. These things go for next to nothing. But I guess they would, no. So I was going to say slowly add up. 10 soul sponge, but we're going to need them for crafting. Because that stuff's going to be more useful as we go. Slowly regenerate health while wet. Andra's Grace. We have the slowly regenerate essence. Critical hit steal poison damage. +2 resolve. Yeah, 150 is not going to do a whole lot for us. The Hands of Colt. Wayfarer's Gloves. Power attacks deal 5% bonus fire damage. Minus 10% stamina cost while blocking. I don't know if I want to sell any of that stuff. Not even the steel garrote plate, which we might jump back into if things get too crazy. To get that +2 constitution and attackers receiving damage. And I bought the fine robe. The common arc bust +1. I guess I'll sell the common grimoire of elements. And the fine one just has less ability cost, less cooldown. But maybe I want greater elements. Because we can cast Blizzard a lot cheaper. I'll get used to, I don't know which one of those we're going to get yet. I have to decide. Let me go ahead and sell one Magrin's Fury to get enough to buy either or of those. Oh. I have to somehow get a little practice in with them. See how long we've been playing. Probably isn't that long, right? Oh my gosh, 48 minutes? Guys, I want to thank you for joining me. I'm going to try, let me see, do I hold the number 1 button to aim it? Yes. And 3. And 4 is the self-applying. Oh, it energizes the water. Nasty. And that takes half my essence just to cast those 2 spells. But if I jump in the fine robe, which I might be crazy for using this, but we can aim that pretty well. Sets the area on fire a little bit. Gives us a bit more essence. But I want to thank you guys for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe before heading out. Also, I hope to see you guys next time. We'll probably head out towards the Expedition Corps, as I promised that guy would. rather than head to Marius. And we'll go from there. So, quick reminder, guys, or heads up if you're new. To be a big help to my channel, you can become a member here on the channel or on patreon.com/fluent. Definitely check that out if interested and you want to help in a huge way. Shout out to all my members. Thank you very much, guys, and love y'all. And like I said, I hope to see all you guys next time because I love all you guys. And we're going to get it in. And let's see, we're in the Market District. The Pearl District. Ah, there was the districts up here. We'll check these out next time, the Sparrowhawk districts. I hope there's no time limits on quests, like for that expedition force. You know, they might get killed or something because we end up going there too late. I don't know, but anyway, until next time, guys, be well, live well, stay well, and much love, peace, and joy. Lots more to ponder over next time and explore, so don't miss it. And see you guys then. Ciao for now.